This chapter will investigate the Brittonic sources' claims. Their overarching assertion is that a peace agreement followed Claudius's failed invasion. The agreement was sealed by a marriage alliance which betrothed a daughter of Claudius to the British king, Arivagos, and conjoined the ruling families of Britain and Rome. According to the same source, Britain also assisted Rome in the subjugation of the Orkneys. Suetonius provides us with the most comprehensive, chronological, and credible classical account of significant Roman actions during the first century of the Christian era. Within his illustrious Lives of the Caesars, he tells of Rome's interactions with Britain in the decades following Claudius's invasion. It is a remarkable series of biographies, which do not confirm the traditional narrative provided by the Renaissance fabulists, Tacitus and Dio. On the contrary, the respective reports provide no examples of military campaigning by the Roman army in Britain. In fact, Rome's military experience in Britain appears unremarkable and unassuming. Suetonius remembers that Claudius passed over to Britain and part of the island submitting to him within a few days after his arrival, without battle or bloodshed. He returned to Rome in less than 6 months from the time of his departure and triumphed in the most solemn manner. If nothing else, this is a curiously ephemeral appraisal of a supposedly prodigious affair. Nevertheless, Suetonius provides only 3 further references to Britain, in Nero, none of which support the Renaissance reimagining of conquest and colonization. Even when presented in context, Suetonius' reports on Britain appear utterly uninspiring. From Nero, 13. Nero never entertained the least ambition or hope of augmenting and extending the frontiers of the empire. On the contrary, he had thoughts of withdrawing the troops from Britain, and was only restrained from so doing by the fear of appearing to detract from the glory of his father. From Nero, 39. To these terrible and shameful calamities brought upon the people by their prince were added some proceeding from misfortune. Such were a pestilence by which, within the space of one autumn, there died no less than 30,000 persons, as appeared from the registers in the Temple of Libitina. A great disaster in Britain, where 2 of the principal towns belonging to the Romans were plundered. From Nero, 40. Nero had been formerly told by astrologers that it would be his fortune to be at last deserted by all the world. But the greater part of them flattered him with assurances of his being restored to his former fortune. And being most inclined to believe the latter prediction, upon losing Britain and Armenia, he imagined he had run through all the misfortunes which the fates had decreed him. Suetonius's references are few and inexplicit, but, nevertheless, essentially only claim that Roman troops were stationed in Britain during the reign of Nero. However, they remained conspicuously unresponsive to the reported plundering of Roman property. Moreover, Suetonius subsequently states that Nero, in fact, lost Britain. Nor does the biographer go on to report, or even suggest, that this condition was ever reversed. Besides Suetonius' single sentence on Claudius's benign and bloodless expedition of AD 43, he does not even hint at subjugation, suppression, or taxation in Britain. The traditional misreading and entanglement of Suetonius's report on Vespasian's military action in Germany and Britain has been aforementioned, and in reality only claims that the Isle of Wight was subjected to Rome. Suetonius's reports do not confirm or even allude to the incredible imaginings of Tacitus or Dio. Unlike their incredible existence and work, Suetonius's credibility stems from his visibility throughout the intervening millennia and the supportive epigraphic and archaeological evidence.